Okay, the title of the art piece I'll be talking about is titled Distorted Education, PhDs in Violence. So the artwork is more of an extended conversation of the fees must fall and the education system as a whole in South Africa. So the piece is, you look at the PhD gown in the piece, you look at the bit of the head in the piece, and you look at the stature of the figure in the piece. It's a stature of different kind of things. Normally when you get your doctorate or your degree, you have what you call the scroll. But in the piece, the person is not raising the scroll, he or she is raising a Molotov bomb. Hence the violent part in the piece, a Molotov bomb. So I'm looking at this whole conversation. I know it happened a couple of years back, but I'm still looking at it and thinking about it. And when you look at the country, whenever there's a tension in the country, it may be political tension, it may be a social tension, or any kind of tension that brings about the socio-political life in South Africa. We have a lot of people who are very educated in South Africa alone, multiple PhDs alone in South Africa. However, with all those PhDs, we haven't come up with solutions to deal with the issues that we are facing in our country, socially, culturally, or politically. And it makes you wonder, what kind of education do we have, or what kind of education that we are coming under, or what kind of students or what kind of people in society is producing, right? So looking at all of that, the artwork is sort of like a commentary on that there's so much PhDs that we have, but we don't have real solutions to the issues that we are facing in our culture, in our society, in our politics as well. And whenever there's tension, like I said, whenever there's tension, the first thing we result to is violence, burning of property, burning of roads, or breaking of property. Yet we say we have PhDs, we were educated. What kind of education do we have? What kind of education do we possess as a nation? And one of the biggest nations in the continent, producing a lot of things, but our education is not helpful, it's not practical, if I can put it that way, but it's constant in producing violence. Would that mean our education is violent in its makeup? Would that be the question? Or our education is stifled by different other ideologies? So the artwork just comments on that. And in my commentary, what I bring in the conversation is that I believe in a biblical worldview, even in education. When I was in Zambia working there was a survey that was done by corporate companies on what kind of people they want to work for them. And 80% to 90% of their response was, as much as someone is qualified, we want that, but we want people with morals. And that can point to you that most of the people who are in the workplace, they don't have morals. But when you look at the biblical worldview, it produces people with morals. It produces people with understanding of the field that they're in. It produces people that they're supposed to produce good, truth, and beauty in the field that they work in. So in a nutshell, the work is a commentary on that, but it is also a commentary on a biblical worldview is well needed within the society we live in.